NGN's presentation of the USA Ultimate National Championships brought to you by Elemental Technologies, perfecting the media experience with multi-screen delivery solutions for the modern world. And Patagonia, team sales and discounts for athletes seeking exceptional quality and peak performance.
Welcome back to Frisco, Texas, and Next Gen Network's continued coverage of the USA Ultimate National Championships. We have some exciting action here today in windy Frisco. A pro flight play-in game on the women's side. My name is Kyle Weisbrod. I'm here with Topher Davis. You can tweet us. My Twitter handle is @KDubsUltimate.
And I'm at Real Topher Davis. And Kyle, we're pretty excited for this game today. It's our last day as a Next Gen Network crew. And this game has a lot on the line for the teams, not necessarily elimination, but what's at stake, Kyle?
Well, these two teams are playing into the Pro Flight, which is USA Ultimate's top flight of play, and winning this game gives them more opportunities next year to play against the top teams, and both teams have expressed this is a game that they want to win.
Certainly, and these two teams know each other very well. Two Northwest Regionals teams. Been battling out. There are a lot of tournaments in the Northwest for these girls, starting out with the Eugene Summer Solstice and everything going on in the Northwest ECC, regionals. So I'm very curious to see how these two teams match up against each other. They should know the lines very well. As you said, Kyle, it's a windy day, and we're starting out. The wind is switched from the weekend. Traffic is working downwind on the start of this point.
Mostly a crosswind here. They're on the upwind side of the sideline of the field right now, but definitely it's going to play as an upwind-downwind game with traffic going downwind right now.
Switch all the way across the field to that downwind sideline. Schwa might be letting those go, trying to trap them down here. It's the disc going up line, but it's sitting there out of bounds, knocked away by Schwa's Delia Chu. And Schwa now about half the field to go on this downwind sideline. Let's see how they respond in their first possession of the game.
So the wind is, I think it's heavier than we've seen all weekend. I expect we're going to see a lot of turnovers today with the wind, but nice movement here from Schwa getting to the upwind sideline and the break sideline.
Schaffner going for the end zone immediately. That one is carrying, tries to tow it in, but it falls out the back of the end zone, intended for Sarah Reed Brown there.
Great effort from Reed Brown here, and a nice shot from Schaffner riding that upwind edge. Puts it just a little too far out for Reed Brown. She gets her hand on that, but just can't quite come down with it. And she was also out the back of the end zone, it looks like. And Schwa right away with the block, able to get it. And Reed Brown taking a shot to the end zone, and that's going to fall incomplete to Jenny Tibbles.
Yeah, Kyle, I think we're going to see both of these teams take a lot of shots. They might not all land to their intended receiver, but getting those yards, making the teams play a lot of long points, a lot of distance to cover. It's going to be one of those short field type of games where if you can get a turn just outside the end zone, that is going to work well. And there we see a nice block in the middle of the lane, stopping the huck.
So Tibbles getting the block back for Schwa here. Yeah, both teams are going to want to go downstream, attacking the end zone as much as possible, and defensively pushing the other teams out wide, because every single throw is going to be difficult in this wind.
And there we go, deep shot, trying to get those yards, and what a catch there from Catherine Hu. Here goes traffic about midfield, switches the field well. Now disc stops in the middle of the field, just outside the brick mark, 20 yards to go.
Candace Chan with the disc here, out to Kat Hui. Fru going up the sideline. A nice grab by Fru with lots of pressure on her. From Olivia Bartroff.
Foul called, uncontested, I imagine. Bartroff trying to get at the disc. Whole body goes into Fru. They're taking a long time to set up. I don't think it's contested. I think Fru is just going to get her position back. It looks like she's taking it on the cone just outside. And traffic's first O point. They really need to punch this one in. Fru goes around, and great poach D from Schaffner coming off her handler defender. And now Schwa with a long field to go, looking for another break opportunity.
Both teams will looking to get to the upwind sideline and then take shots as quickly as they can off of movement. Schaffner unable to come up with that one. So it looks like Traffic will get it back. And I think this is what we're going to see a lot of in this game. Aggressive offense, lots of turnovers, and really aggressive defense as well, trying to get the disc back.
Yeah, in a win like this, the game strategy changes. It's not that possession-oriented offense that's so important in some of the open games, in some of the just clean, no-wind games. This one is going to be about who can be mentally tough in these long points. And early in the game, we're going to see how these teams respond, how they're going to adjust as Traffic throws away another opportunity. 35 yards to go for the Schwa team.
And Traffic is forcing backhand here. Schaffner out to space. And Schaffner hangs one up to that upwind side. Lots of folks there. Looks like we got a foul call here in all the confusion.
I think that's going to be Tibbles calling the foul. She was the only Schwa player in the area for a lot of that float.
I think Roscoe may also be calling a foul here. Roscoe trying to pick it up the garbage there, and looks like she's on the backside.
This is a tough call to make for the observer because there's a lot of contact always in that pileup, but you gotta wonder how much is that contact affecting the players to catch the disc. It could just be it was gonna fall because it's a windy game anyway. We'll see how the observer rules this one. It could really set the tone for how they're gonna call these type of plays throughout the rest of the game.
So observers rule no foul, and I expect we're going to see a lot of those types of plays throughout this game. Just like you said, Topher, the wind is going to cause a lot of hanging discs, and both these teams know that coming down with those are big, so we're going to see 3, 4, 5 players at a time going up for the disc in lots of situations.
And maybe if they know that the observers are not going to call a foul for any team, that in those pileups are just going to play it is going to be about who can pick it up and move quickly after that, not get caught in the well, who got fouled, who was supposed to catch the disc, because it really could be anyone's game. And Traffic going deep immediately, trying to get that big yardage gain, and through the hands of Mason. Great defensive effort there from Flander. And Schwa, 65 yards to go to start this game off with a break.
The flip side of observers not calling fouls or not upholding fouls in those situations is that you're going to see more aggressive defense too. Players are not going to be worried about coming into big piles and causing fouls or causing contact. So Schwa gives it back, and here's a relatively short field to work with here for Traffic. Only about 20 yards out.
Mason just outside the end zone and trying to get that dump reset. Harder can't hold on to it, and that's a throw going upwind in this crosswind. Like you said, Kyle, it's shaky, it's in the hands. Another opportunity for the break from Schwa. Reed Brown with the disc on the downwind sideline, tries to get it to the middle and dives straight into the ground. Both teams grinding out in this long point. There hasn't been a timeout yet. They seem to be okay with just trying to play it, but I wonder if one team is gonna wanna try to stop in this point and really figure out how to play in this wind.
Well, yeah, and these points are going to be really critical. Given how many turnovers we've already seen, this could be a very low point scoring game here, and every single point is going to matter. Putting points on the board is of the utmost importance, especially when you get here close to the end zone. You really want to put these shots in. Frew with the disc. Frew an exceptional handle here for this offense, and she punches it into Chan.
Great inside-out throw by Frew. Gets in a good position just outside the goal line where they can attack the end zone in a strong throw. If she was 5-10 yards back, maybe they were going to have to take 2 passes to score. But Frew, one of the better throwers on this team, she was very confident to try to hit that inside. Gets the goal. Good point for Traffic.
Watch Frew really just step out and get low here. She has very low release points, and one of the things that really benefits you in these kinds of windy situations is that space right above the ground is not as windy. right? There's less wind there, so the lower you can get on this, and especially with this little upwind look, a little nose up, it sets right up there into Chan's belly and makes it very easy for her.
And from throwing from that low position, Kyle, you can throw it going up a little bit. When people throw from the normal release points, if you throw it up, it's going to go over the head, but from that low, throwing it up should land right in the chest of the intended target. Great job from Traffic to keep their heads and their wits in that point and score on a very long first point of this game. Now Schwa's offense trying to respond and get their team on the board.
So two players are definitely keeping an eye on the Schwa line. Sophie Darch, 2 on the line, and Amanda Kostic, who's going to be 6 on their line. As we see Moen, big defender here for Traffic with the disc for the pull. And really, there's going to be only a handful of players who are going to consistently be able to hit those upwind shots, the upwind sideline that are going to open up the offense for both of these teams. And Traffic comes down with a junky set, looking to stop big throws, yardage gaining throws from the Schwa offense. And Kostic trying to go with a lefty backhand over the top to Sophie Darch, unable to complete it. And now Traffic an opportunity for a break only about 20 yards outside of the end zone.
Yeah, great opportunity for Traffic, but we saw in the last point, Schwa was in the same situation and had trouble punching their ticket in. We'll see how Traffic's defense is able to respond in this situation. So far, they're looking clean, moving it across the field, hasn't gained any of that vertical space. Now they get a shot upwind, but take the reset backfield.
And Schwa playing pretty flat marks here, forcing a lot of throws, and that's what you gotta like. And here's a shot to the end zone, and a Traffic goal as Moens finds Jamie Cott for the goal, and the 2-0 Traffic lead.
Yeah, and great job from Traffic. Only one possession in that point. Very different from how they started that game on their offensive line. Might just be that the teams need a second to get used to this wind while they're on the field. Hopefully the wind will die down and we can see a much cleaner game. But as it stands now, it's going to be a grind for both sides of the ball.
Yeah, and Schwa here coming up with that straight-up defense here in the short field. And yes, it's forcing a lot of throws laterally, but they're not highly pressured throws. And downfield, it's hard to play defense sometimes against a straight-up mark because both lanes are open. So Traffic asserts themselves early, and a 2-0 lead is a big one. But with this crosswind, you know, I said earlier that I thought it was going to play as an upwind-downwind game. It doesn't look to actually be playing that way. It looks like both end zones are going to be difficult to score in, but equally difficult.
Yeah, and when you're in that upwind-downwind game, all those breaks and opportunities end up almost being, for sure, 2-point swings. If you can get an upwind, then you're almost guaranteed that downwind coming off the back. This with the crosswind, both teams just have to work hard going both ways. Schwa starting the disc on offense in the center of the field. McCain with it.
McCain, another big throw to keep an eye on here for the Schwa offense.
She feeds it up to Schaffner. Schaffner looking deep to Wiebe. That is floating in the air. It's going to be contested, and Wiebe can't get a hand on it.
Ellie Hand with the defense for Traffic. No call here, but even with the turnover, this is definitely a good turnover from Schwa. Great job from McCain to set up Schaffner there with movement, who's then able to get that big backhand off.
Yeah, 70 yards to go, and it looks like Schwa will be forcing flick. That's a smart choice, letting those throws downwind. That one pops up in the air, and an easy knock away from Becky Zip. 30 yards to go for McCain. Can't attack the break side. Looking for Munson. Gets it off. Munson inside break to Wilson Moses, but a pick is called from Wilson Moses defender. That disc will go back to Munson.
We talked about the low release points from Frew. Here Schwa has both McCain and Schaffner. Smaller handlers for them, but with, again, low release points that are going to benefit the offense here and allow them to get more stable throws off for distance.
McCain calls the foul, looking for the throw to the break side. Reset, 3 handlers back. An upline throw to Schaffner. That one pops up in the air. It floated for a long time, but no one from Schwa seemed to be able to get a read from it. Another tough 70 yards to go for the Traffic defensive line here.
So obviously another thing we're going to see a lot of in this game is opportunities for second chance discs as those discs float up, especially throws the upwind side. And here's a shot from Chewy going deep to Laura Mason, but that one is not going to be complete. Again, another great choice shot here, and even with the turnover, this plays to Traffic's advantage here, creating a long field for Schwa to work with.
So McCain again to Schaffner up line, but Traffic, that's Huey able to get a good read on it. We've seen Schwa do that twice. On the third time, Traffic beads in on the cut. Now they have a short field to work with for their second break in 2 points. Just outside the end zone, continuing to the break side, and that is up. Traffic starting this game great early, up 3-0 on the Portland squad.
So we here with the block and then the goal for bookends. Traffic doing a really good job here, showing that they can set themselves up to huck it early, and then when they get towards the end zone, they're working it in with lots of passes, and they're playing very consistently in there. And so let's take a quick look at the block and the score. We got a timeout here from Schwa. So
yeah, coming from the downfield, good read from that. She's got eyes on the handlers the entire time, and as they just continue to the break side, the defense downfield doesn't want to make that adjustment to try to stop the dead side lanes, and it's so easy for the handlers or the offensive players to just attack that space that no one is defending.
And those backfield cuts from Schwa, from Schaffner going up line for them, it's a really strong look, but it became very predictable by the third time. We're going to take a quick break, and then we will keep working on this first half here between Traffic and Schwa. Welcome back here to our Pro Flight playing game, Northwest Regional matchup between Vancouver Traffic and Portland Schwa. Traffic jumped out to an early 3-0 lead here on the backs of some solid play here in this heavy crosswind here in Frisco, Texas. Schwa responded with a timeout. Let's see how they respond and what kind of offense that they're looking to generate out of that timeout. Every single one of their plays so far, though, have been looks trying to get a player in power position able to put it, and they haven't been incredibly successful. They've been 3 out of 4 on those looks. A couple times in that last point, Schaffner struggled, and then the previous point, Kostic trying to put one up to Sophie Darch and unable to get her in power position. So maybe they're going to be looking for some more downfield action here, or maybe they're going to keep staying with the same stuff and just hope it has a little more accuracy. We'll take a look, and here's Kostic going right away deep.
So they decide probably it's a good look going to Tibbles. She has a one-on-one matchup going away from the disc, plenty of space, but they also might have just been setting up a deep play off the bat to try to lock down defense, get this short field turn, and able to punch it in without having to worry about those turnovers way deep in their territory.
Tibbles hanging out, poaching the lane here. Lots of pressure.
To the sideline for Traffic. Able to get that upwind and upline throw, and off of it they strike quickly. Can't find the intended receiver.
So Cham taking that deep shot there for Traffic off that power position. And again, Schwa having to work a long field. Weatherhead with the disc here for Schwa. Looking for Darch. Loss of yards. To Kostic. These are touchy throws here near their own end zone, and they definitely do not want to turn over here. Odie with the disc. Under lots of pressure, Trish Thomas. Back to Kostic. Darch. And Darch pivots to the backhand but doesn't take the shot. That's a surprising no throw from Darch.
And I can't tell if Traffic is playing a junk look from a downfield or if those Schwa cutters are just spending a lot of time away from the disc. A great high release break though to the middle of the field. Good job by Schwa to be able to switch it. But on the reset from Darts to Weatherhead that hits the ground, Now Cham picking up the disc. Has a cutter coming under, floats over his head. It's floating in the air. Great read by Traffic, getting that second effort attempt. Cham back with the disc.
And this is where Traffic's been deadly here, just only a few yards out. They've been working very well in their red zone offense. Cott was the big one coming up with that second effort play on that high backhand. Now Cham has the disc.
Reset to the break side. Trying to get that backhand, finds Cham. A cutter wide, great poach by Tibbles in the middle of the lane. That one floats, but is easily brought in by Whitehead on Traffic. They have 3 breaks, 1 offense possession, and are up 4-0 on the Portland team.
Yeah, I think strategically and execution-wise, Traffic is outplaying Schwa by a significant margin early. Not to say that Schwa's out of this game, but Schwa has to figure some stuff out. And you mentioned this, it was hard to tell what Traffic's defense was, whether it was man or zone on that point. And part of that was that Schwa had their whole offense on the upwind sideline, and it was so difficult to run to get to those cutters on the upwind sideline that Traffic was able to sag into the lane off of those players and really clog the downfield and create havoc on that Schwa offense and forced a lot of throws, and it eventually resulted in that turnover from Darch to Weatherhead. Yeah, we're going to take a quick look at that scoring play here for Traffic. Take a look at Tibbles hanging out in the lane. There's a very smart poach here, as Rena Kawabata would have been wide open in the middle, almost had the look, but she leaves her mark open, and Traffic able to find it and throw to Whitehead on the goal line for that slight upwind throw and the goal and the 4-0 lead for Traffic.
Smart recognition from Whitehead there to get back on the stack in a good reset position, and then realizing her defender isn't there. Just gets to the front of the line, doesn't have to be a big throw. And Schwa moving quickly, very good off this offensive point, taking a shot to Schaffner, but that turns in the wind. That is gonna roll out to the sideline. 5 yards in front of the Traffic end zone. They will have 65 yards to go as Frew is gonna pick this disc up on the sideline on this downwind sideline.
So Anna Hare there with the turnover for Schwa, former player for Atlanta's Ozone as well as Boston's Lady Godiva. And this is the tough position to be in here for Traffic, that coffin corner on that downwind near their own end zone. Frew with the disc though, has the skills to get it off the line. Traffic able to break it in good position here. Mowens.
Moving quickly, a lot of space for the Traffic players. That one tough to get up win.
A little too far out in front there for Ashley Davison. So Schwa now in that tough position on the downwind cone for them. Roscoe with it. And Traffic really cramming that sideline. Definitely not in a person-to-person defense here, making it very difficult. High stall count, gonna put it up. And Davison comes down with it for Traffic.
Bump on the mark and no call. Davison striking deep and able to find her receiver, Mason, in the end zone. Good job from Vancouver. 4 breaks in a row. They're really running away with this first half, Kyle.
Yeah, Traffic is doing all the work here, making the right decisions, and having the breaks run their way, and then, just showing a little higher level skill here than Schwa is.
The goal was great, and great job once playing defense on that long offensive possession for Schwa, but I think that play really started when Traffic got it with Frew on that corner. She threw an inside break just to get it out there, and the Schwa's defender, no one sees it. It's a 50-50 ball, and that should be an opportunity for the defense to really attack, eat it up, but no one's looking at the thrower in that position except for Traffic. And once they get it, they move it quickly. They've got a lot of space. It's a lot of one-on-one matchups. And even though they don't score on this possession, they set themselves up for the easy turn, short field, and then they're able to punch it in.
Yeah, Schwa's really overplaying that downwind side of the field and weren't heads up enough. And Frew and several of these Traffic players have the throws to get off the sideline. Maybe it's not a perfect throw, but it's good enough to get it to a wide open receiver who's playing a heads-up offense. So Moens with the pull here for Traffic. And Schwa is going to have to come up with some answers here. Feeds up to Darch.
Darch takes the free reset to McCain. And McCain going across on the backfield backhand break, hits the ground before it can find its intended target. Traffic, another opportunity to break.
Laurel J across. Odie tries to get it, can't get the D. Moens. Back to the middle of the field. And Traffic once again in the red zone. Cham with the disc. Cham with the lefty forehand out to space. No one there except for Schaffner on D. Knocks it down.
Heads up play from Schaffner. Didn't need to attack that disc as aggressively, but there was no one, as there's no Traffic offenses around. But good job to just be confident that your team is going to have it. Now Schaffner on the goal line. Doesn't have a lot of options. Finally finds Darch on the handler on the other side. And Darch stretching it deep. Odie is there. Odie can't reel it in. But a long point now facing the Traffic D-line. This could be advantageous for Schwa if they can get a short turn.
And, you know, like a lot of these tucks here, that was a good choice here from Darch. A lot of yards to get to the end zone here for Traffic. And here's an opportunity for Schwa, a huge one that they need to punch in as Moens cannot come up with that disc. McCain going to pick it up for Schwa. And Barcher for the little shimmy, and McCain finds her in the end zone, and Schwa is finally on the board, down 5-1.
A good job from Barchov there, just winning the one-on-one matchup. She's very quick, a young player from the University of Oregon, strong, top receiver. And honestly, Kyle, I was going to say that I'm surprised that Schwa was taking so much time to set up. You might want to move quickly there while the defense isn't there. Everyone should be downfield. You can get a quick strike. But they set up knowing that they have a strong thrower and a nice one-on-one matchup with Barchov there. Good job from Schwa. Like we said, they had taken the huck, gotten the early turn, the short field turn, that is, and are finally on the board in this first half.
Yeah, Whitehead on defense a little overplays Barchov there as Barchov made that move to the break side, and then Barchov easily able to shimmy over to the open side. You know, and 5-1 feels, you know, it's a solid lead, but in these conditions, runs can happen. You know, especially if you can figure out the defense that Traffic is going to struggle with. There's lots of options out there. We've been seeing Schwa run a lot of man, but now they're on defense again, and maybe they'll run a zone defense. They'll set something up that's junky and create different types of pressure for this Traffic offense to face.
Yeah, the Traffic offense on the field for the first time since the first point. And really the Traffic offense, in that first point at least, wasn't playing as smoothly as their defensive line. Of course, both of these teams are playing kind of balanced. There's not as much of an O and D line in this division, especially in a game like this. You just want your strong throwers on the whole time. So we'll see how Traffic on offense is able to respond. Maybe Schwa can start getting the momentum back with a break here.
And the subbing will be an interesting part of this game. At some point, you might want to start overloading lines with handlers, even putting them in downfield positions so you have options once you get it downfield to continue throwing yardage-gaining passes in this difficult wind.
We see Traffic with the disc to Frew in the middle of the field. Frew takes a shot deep immediately. Can't quite hold that edge. Now Schwa, a chance to get a break, start chipping away at that lead. Reed Brown on the sideline.
Traffic really coming in and being aggressive defensively here. Disc up in the air, still up in the air, and a great defensive play there. Julie DeVeo able to put it down, and here's another shot to the end zone and a goal for Kat Hui. Assist from Melissa Harder.
Great job from Traffic, moving quickly after that turn. A lot of opportunities on that bobbling disc. It's going upwind on the swing, and that just gets tipped up once, tipped up twice, and a great read there. Just rips it out of the air over everyone else, and Traffic moves quickly on the turn before Schwa is set up. They're on that downwind side, but that's also a good side to be throwing from.
Did we get those first 2 tips on the disc? I think she got the first tip, and then the second tip, and then she caught the goal at the end of it. Not quite bookends because Davy was the one who was able to finally get that block, but Hui doing a lot of work on that point. And a good quick point, only 1 turnover piece, but that's a big one for Traffic to keep their defense out there rolling against this Schwa offense, which has really struggled.
Yeah, and Kyle, we thought this might have been one of those mental grinds where both sides were going to be playing a lot of multi-turn points, but Traffic has been doing a really great job making those points short. Schwa not quite able to adjust in the same way. Credit that to a strong defensive junkie effort from the Traffic players when the turn happens. Now Darch in the middle of the field with the disc to McCain.
An aggressive poaching off of the handlers here, letting Schwa go backfield, but make it very difficult to go downfield. They put players in the lane, and here's a shot deep.
High count. Traffic seems to lose it. Weatherhead is there, but she can't reel it in.
Oh, that was just out in front of Weatherhead, and I think a bid there she could have ended up with that. It's a tough read because it was right over her head, though.
Traffic takes the deep shot. There are 2 defenders there, but great read just outside the end zone. Observer calling her not in. Davison gets it around and able to find Sham for the goal. 7-1 lead. Traffic blowing this first half up.
You know, and I would say in a normal game where it's not this windy, that Mowens throw to Davison seems like kind of a run-of-the-mill play. But this is a fantastic throw from Mowens. And then Davison with a pretty aggressive over-the-top bladey throw to that upwind space. I mean, I think these throws together, to me, Patagonia play of the game is material given where we are in this game and what's been happening. But Davison, look at this aggressive forehand, lefty forehand into that windy spot for the goal. And the 7-1 Schwa lead. So we're going to take a quick look at how the turnover happened for Schwa here. Great poaching defense here from Traffic. You can see Davison here hangs out in the lane and clogs it up big time, forcing a much more difficult throw from McCain. As it comes up at a high stall count, she took away that open lane, and that's what forced the turnover.
Yeah, and interesting from McCain, looks at her receiver, Weeby on the sideline, looks it off and goes for the yardage gaining. It was a good poach in the lane, but then she recovers quickly that McCain didn't feel comfortable enough taking that reset. A long point for Schwa. Good throw, upwind, crossfield. They're now in the middle. We see a junky look from Traffic. Leading pass to Schaffner, coming from the handler spot. Schaffner is going to put it in front of Bartruff. Bartruff with 1 goal already, and she's got 2.
Fantastic play from Bartruff there. Ellie Hand defending for Traffic. Schaffner puts just enough of this one out in front of Bartruff. Nice throws to open this offense up early under there. Number 33 got Kate Roscoe setting up Schaffner, and Schaffner steps out for that backhand, and Bartruff just ripping it out in front of Ellie Hand. Fantastic grab.
And a good job from Schwa when they get breaking through. We've talked about Traffic playing that junkie in front of the handlers, trying to make those short throws difficult. Once they get through, they have a big advantage downfield where there aren't going to be defenders down there because they're trying to get the short field turn. Moving it quickly, Jesse Schaffner and Bartruff, teammates on Oregon's Fugue, able to find that connection that they're so familiar with from the college game.
And that's why it's so important to have skilled throwers downfield, so when you get that first break, you're not letting the Traffic defense set back up. Right away, Schaffner sees an open receiver and throws it. She's confident, she's skilled, and she's able to put that one out enough for Bartruff to pull it down.
2-7 for Schwa. Traffic looking to knock in this offensive point and take half with a monstrous advantage. Schwa wants to start chipping away at that lead now. They need the breaks to make this happen.
You know, there's no 6-point goals here in Ultimate. They're going to have to do it piece by piece. It's going to have to be a grind here for Schwa, but given the conditions and the opportunities to create turnovers, it is a wide open game still if Schwa can figure out the defense. And here's an opportunity as Fru doesn't have a receiver right off the bat. Molly Munson on the mark, and Fru throws it. This one's not coming back in bounds, and it's going to lead to a very short field here for the Schwa D-line.
And I'm not sure what was going on with the traffic cutters there on the pole where it started. Fru didn't have a first look, and then when the mark gets set up, the whole defense is set up on those downfield cutters. Fru had to trying to gain yards, but it goes out of bounds. Great opportunity for Schwa, about 20 yards away from the end zone. As the wind's dying down, maybe they can get some cross throws. Going to Tybbalds, there's some defenders there, but Tybbalds reels it in. Great throw there.
So Chu with that shot to Kibbles, and that one on point, and that's 2 in a row for Schwa where they look like they may have gotten something figured out. Still down by a whole lot, 7-3 early in the first half, or towards the end of the first half here. But what a fantastic throw. There's Kibbles, plants, goes deep, and Chu able to put this one over the shoulder of Balding, the defender.
Yeah, stays down that sideline. There's a defender coming off the back, but it gets in front of Tybbalds. Doesn't float over ahead so that the poaching Chan can't get a play on that disc. Good one throw, one possession defense or offense on the turn from that defensive line.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Schwa needed. They created turnover after the first throw from traffic, a short field, and then punch it in, one throw. That was a 2-throw point.
2-throw point. That's a very impressive thing. A 2-throw point on 2 possessions for a team. That's something you're not going to see on the stat line very often, if we counted throws in the stat line, of course.
Yeah, I think the only thing better than that would be like a first throw Callahan goal for the D-line.
We'll see if they can set this one up. The wind is a crosswind. Schaffner is set to pull. She's a strong thrower. I wouldn't be surprised if Schwa is going to try to pin this one on the sideline and set up a cup or something like that. The wind had died down for a couple points, but here it's blowing with just as much ferocity.
Did you say ferocity? There's a ferocious wind we've got? I would say
ferocious with a lot of velocity, Kyle.
Velocity.
That's a velocity wind right there. Traffic, good adjustment. They're in a open horizontal stack, a lot of movement, and a huck immediately. Schaffner is there. Good defense from Schaffner. She's been a beacon for the defensive line, getting the turns, and McCain laying out, saving possession. Schwa now attacking quickly. They've got a lot of space. Now Hare with the disc. She doesn't look as comfortable as some of the other players and slips right through Odie's hands.
Well, credit to Schaffner for getting that throw off. Traffic was coming in trying to put that junk defense on the line, and she threw it past 3 defenders to get off the line and able to give Schwa a lot of yards and a chance here where now Traffic has a lot of yards to work out of. Nice work from Traffic against the upwind sideline.
Yeah, that can be so important. You to swing upwind and then you work downwind, upfield. Traffic pops that one in the air. Kostick knocks it down, no problem. Darch is going to pick it up in the middle of the field. Again, we see Schwa not moving quickly and allowing the Traffic offense to set up, but Kostick doesn't have a mark. She's still sitting there unmarked with the disc. Gets it around, quick movement, McCain. Fakes, trying to get her defender off. Can't get it up, floating, and unable to be brought down by Hare, uncontested, but sometimes those floaty discs, you're trying to make a jump and can't get the correct read on it.
Yeah, Hare's had a couple of mistakes. I wonder, you know, a large part of playing in the wind is that confidence and feeling being able to do things assertively, and Hare's struggling with that and now getting beat deep as Traffic pushes this one onto the goal line. Davison with the swing out wide, trying to go for the goal to number 10, Jamie, caught and unable to complete that. Kostick to pick up the disc in a really tough position. We're going to get another look at this aggressive Traffic zone defense on that coffin corner sideline.
Yeah, and Schwa not quite adjusting. They still have their players in a vertical stack. Kostick tries to switch the field to Darch. Easily D'd there.
And that one hangs up a little too long. She tries to put it far on the break side for Darch, but unable to. And here, Traffic punching it into Mowens, who just got the block. Bookends for Mowens. Halftime for Traffic, up 8-3 in this Pro Flight play-in game.
And we went through this halftime quickly, and a lot of credit to the Traffic D line for doing that. They've been playing this good junk, and when Schwa, Kosick trying to switch the field over to darts there, it's very easy for Moens, a lot of hang time, and then kind of a blown defensive matchup as she is wide open on the first pass after the turn, punches it in. 8-3 here for the advantage for the Vancouver Traffic team as they're taking on regional rival Schwa in the Pro Flight play-in game. We are going to take our halftime break here on the Next Gen Network. Be sure to join us for the conclusion of this broadcast.
Welcome back to Frisco, Texas, and Next Gen Network's continued coverage of the USA Ultimate National Championships. This is actually Next Gen Network's last half of live coverage ever, and I might start crying during this half, Topher.
Well, don't get too emotional yet, Kyle. We still have 2 games. They're not going to be live, but they will be on the video on demand on the ngandultimate.com.
Yeah, 2 semifinal games.
We're excited for that, but here in this Pro Flight play-in game, we have Northwest teams, Portland Schwa taking on Vancouver Traffic, and Vancouver Traffic has been absolutely dominant in this first half as we see Schwa get a good huck. Schaffner on the sideline. Now Schaffner leading pass. Great play there from Hare. And we were talking in that last point, really kind of tearing up Hare's play, being unconfident. She had a drop, but coming out of the second half, maybe she found that confidence and a good read in the air, and Schwa looking much better at the start of this play.
This is an impressive throw from Schaffner. Look at her. She sits this one out far enough, and it stays in bounds, too. That's the difficult thing. She is on that downwind sideline, and it holds the edge. Great throw here. The high stall count from McCain to find Schaffner. And this is what Schwa needed out of half. A smooth offensive point where they worked all the way up, builds the confidence, and gets their defense on the field.
Yeah, and to be able to attack that downwind sideline side is what both teams have been doing well, because most teams are trying to trap them when they get there, but that leaves a wide open deep look. Sometimes it's difficult and it's flown out of bounds, but we've seen a lot of hucks going that way, and a lot of times their strong throwers are able to keep it in bounds, and as long as they get it in front of their defenders, it's almost impossible to stop because defense is trying to stay under and let those throws go.
Yeah, expecting them to hang up, expecting them to float out of bounds, whatever. They want to be able to make plays on those throws, and if you can throw those consistently strongly, and we just saw 2 of them, you're in the driver's seat. So here's Schwa on defense. They just had 10 minutes to recalibrate, figure out, maybe they come up with some answer to Traffic's O-line and get some more breaks. They had 1 in the first half. And here's a pull out of bounds from Roscoe.
So this is our 4th time seeing the Traffic offense.
I believe that is an accurate statement.
Their defense was absolutely dominant, getting the turns and making quick work of putting those points in.
5th time because they had the very first point of the game, and then this is their 4th time that Schwa has scored. And it looks like we do see a junky look here from Schwa. Lots of clogging in the middle of the field, making that difficult, forcing Traffic out to the sidelines, but giving them that upwind throw to the upwind sideline, which Traffic may choose to use here.
Well, a lot of the times you can give that upwind throw because even though it's a free throw, it could pop up, and if you have that cup there, they don't need to be right on the defender to make the play, but just enough hang time, and you have 5 Schwa defenders ready to collapse. Good job from the Schwa defense, really containing, but that one gets through the cup, and Traffic is moving quickly. Frew on the sideline. This is exactly what you need to do after you get through a cone. They've now gotten set up in a person-to-person, but Traffic, there's an unmarked player, leading pass, and unfortunate drop there. They were moving quickly, and Harder just can't find the disc in her hands.
Yeah, so Molly Munson pick up the disc, and Schwa, long way to go here. Fortunate for them to even get this disc back after a nice movement from Traffic. Munson to the middle of the field to Roscoe. Roscoe in good position. Roscoe going towards the middle. That's Trish Toms. Munson again. And Schwa looking confident, working to the upwind side of the field.
And there the huck goes up towards the end zone. And a great play, a grab by Hansen, able to score the goal, and a break. 2 scores from Schwa at the start of this half. They're down 5-8. This looks much cleaner, and the score does not look as lopsided as we were seeing just 10 minutes before half.
Well, like we were saying, in a game like this where turnovers happen because of the wind, you're going to have opportunities for breaks, and here is Schwa putting a break on the board as Flanders throws a very nice high-release lefty backhand that floats to space, and the very tall Kelly Hansen at 6 feet pulls this one in, and Schwa only down by 3 points and doing work here. They came out with a new strategy. It slowed the Traffic offense down. Traffic worked through it, but then had the drop on the goal line. It'll be interesting to see if Schwa comes out with that zone again that forced a lot of throws, not necessarily contested throws, but a lot of throws back and forth from the Traffic offense. Schwa has really gone away from any semblance of Owen defensive lines. They're just trying to put on lines with lots of skilled throwers at this point. Sophie Darch on the line here, set to pull.
Traffic's offense ready to make something happen. They've come out a little flat in this first half. Just one turn. And again, so there's been one turn in this first half so far, or second half. And in that first point of the first half, there was at least 6 apiece. And another one through the hands. Schwa, an opportunity to get their second break and as many D points. Hare with the disc. Goes across to Schaffner. And that one floats, knocked down.
Just a little out of reach, but that was a confident throw from Hare. A good look, stepping out, breaking the mark, and putting it upwind. The wind kind of died down, and so that didn't hold the disc up nearly as much for Schaffner as I would have expected on that throw.
In the middle of the field, we see a person-to-person defense from Schwa. They decided not to stay in his zone. Jam with the disc in the middle of the field. She was a big part of that backfield for Traffic. If they don't continue, she's their reset. That time gets looked off. Cott has the disc. Now Ning going downwind, and a great throw to Whitehead past the Schwa defender. Just gets it in front, and Traffic's offense able to score after one turn. They get it back and work it much smoother on that second possession.
And, you know, great Traffic offense here, moving it down, very comfortable in these throws. And this throw, the throw that Ning throws at the end, is a beautiful backhand to that outside shoulder there of Whitehead, and with this tough wind. And look at her just lay this one out to space around Anna Hare. Anna Hare has no play on the disc, and Whitehead has to just turn and find it really easy. So the Traffic offense putting it back in for 9-5.
And that's the inverse of the throw that we were just talking about, going the other way down the field, where that flick, a lot of people have been taking it because they're on that downwind side. Teams are trying to trap, so it's a wide open throw downwind. And now going the opposite way on the backhand, it's a lot easier to get touch with that backhand going in. She's just able to bend it around in front of Whitehead. I wonder if teams are going to try to do a force middle or something where they get it to that sideline, but they don't want to give up the free hucks like that. The yardage gain and the yard advantage that you can get from a free huck is so much more critical in this than giving up a free swing up line.
Well, Traffic was having some luck with those straight-up marks and then poaching the middle of the field off of the handlers and preventing those big hucks and forcing them to go to the sideline and then containing on the sideline. And here they are straight up again.
Vertical stack. Gets open on a break throw from McCain.
McCain with a great move here to get open in power position. Here's a shot deep, but too far for Flanders. The wind is down a little bit right now. It's kind of gusty.
And it looks like McCain was trying to zip that throw into Flanders, knowing that discs have been popping up, but in trying to throw it that quickly, it never gets the height that was necessary to reach his defender. And Traffic working upwind, trying to get their first break of this half where they'd been doing so well in the first half. Hui with the disc, sends it deep immediately. Great job coming back to attack it, and a second huck going to hand. Hand almost makes a wonderful play on it, laying out and trying to toe the line, but the wind carries it out of bounds.
Yeah, Kawabata opened that one up a little bit too much, and Hand really putting herself out there a fantastic bit, but unable to come up with it. So McCain with the disc in power position. McCain taking the shot, open receiver, but the wind really wreaks havoc with that one, and Hansen unable to come up with it. But this one rolls down to the downwind sideline, putting Traffic's offense in a very difficult position.
Traffic has 20 seconds to pick the disc up before the stall can count. Now down to 10 seconds. They're taking their time set up. It looks like they're in a horizontal. And we see Schwa again forcing into the sideline. They give up an upwind, and the second throw, great poach. Wilson Moses was well under a defender, and that throw just couldn't get the height past. Schwa half the field to work now. So Roscoe works her defender for the reset and trying to gain those yards.
Looks like we have a foul call here.
And
Trish Toms calling a foul.
we haven't been calling a lot of fouls in this game. We had we had a couple of pile-ups at the beginning of the game, but since then it's been very clean.
Looks like no contest here, so Tom's going to keep the disc. Laura Mason on the mark for Traffic. And Schwa has moved it here to the upwind side of the field. But Chewy, Cat Hui with the run-through block on Hansen. Excuse me, Flanders, and that is a classic Cat Hui block. Run-throughs all day.
No foul there. Hui just moves right back, but trying to get the reset going downwind. Past the defender. Roscoe picking the disc up in the center of the field. Good upline cut. Trying to switch fields. Goes the backhand, but a great read by Hui. She's been doing well on this defensive side of the ball. It's Traffic moving quickly. Now they're on that upwind sideline.
Observer calling that one out of bounds. They go to the upwind side. So this is going to be a Schwa disc here. Excuse me, it looks like the observer calling it inbounds. Let's take another look at that. Oh, fantastic towing the line up there from that second angle. Fantastic camera work from our cameramen.
So Traffic able to keep possession and trying to feed it into that upwind.
Looks like McCain calling a stall here before the Roscoe D, so it's going to come back a couple steps.
Uncontested stall. They're going to bring the players back because of the stall call. Everyone needs to stop, and that's a difficult position as a defender. You see the turn on the drop, and even on the stall, if you see the disc hit the ground, you expect to just be able to move quickly. But the play says that the defense needs to set it up, tap it in for the disc is live, and now we have McCain with the disc outside. She's in a high count. She is able to thread the needle on that one. Finds Hansen in the end zone in a high count. Fortunate play for the Schwa offense. They get the point 6-9.
Well, yeah, definitely a heads-up play there from Hansen. That one was a bullet coming in there. McCain, just put this one with a lot of zip. She has a high stall count, can't hit her resets, and she just guns this one in the end zone. And Hansen, luckily, heads up enough here to make this play and easily pull this one in.
A great look to see what Hansen is thinking and seeing on that play. And a high count, go for the end zone, has your big, tall receiver, but she puts it low, not wanting to give a lot of players the opportunity to get under it. Schwa's offense able to score after a lot of turns in that possession. See if there's defense can start chipping away. As you said, Kyle, 1 point at a time in this game. You need to get the breaks, and you need to get them with consistency.
Yeah, Traffic came out of this game strong. They got five breaks in the first half before Schwa was able to put on a break. Schwa since then has gotten 2 breaks to bring this to at its maximum, Traffic had a 6-point lead. It is now only a 3-point lead, and certainly within striking distance for Schwa.
Yeah, with this windy game, it can go either way. Traffic hasn't been perfect with their offensive line. They've been just dropping a lot of missed throws, but that's happening on both sides of the ball. Whichever team is able to make the adjustment is going to walk away a much happier contender here.
And Barcher for the look, can't come up with that one as Kwok gets it. Looks like it's a force to the downwind side, so force backhand.
Davison inside break, and there we see the huck to Whitehead. She reels it in, no problem, and a good possession by Traffic. They're getting on that downwind side and they're facing the trap, but they have those free deep looks.
Yeah, and that one was straight open side throws over and over again. Good mark there from Schaffner. Mowens gets the disc on that little inside break, and a fantastic backhand throw here from Mowens to Whitehead for the goal. And Mowens really stepping up her game this season. We saw her at ECC making very big plays, both on both the throwing and the receiving side of the disc, as well as defensively. She is a fantastic player for this Traffic team.
And in that point, Kyle, we see Schwa doing another person-to-person defense. They were very successful when they came out. In that first point, throwing the zone, Traffic broke through and they had the drop, but they were able to force a lot of passes. I'm surprised that they haven't gone back to that. And one thing that we've noticed from watching Schwa in this tournament is they're a team that has a lot of strong deep throwers and fast receivers. They're very confident as an athletic team, so they want to use that advantage in the person-to-person defense. But a team like that, when the wind picks up, it takes away their whole offensive set. They have to adjust some type of play that they probably haven't done a lot and haven't found the success as much as their quick strike, long throwing game.
So Frew here with the pull for Traffic. Nice pull, lands very bladey and rolls out the side only a few yards away from the cone. It's going to take a second to put it into play, and Traffic is going to have a defense set. Kawabata on the mark for Traffic. Looks like a straight up mark. Tough position here for Schwa, and a first pass turnover. Luckily, Schwa gets the roll.
This roll is really making Traffic go now 35 yards instead of the 10 that they were going to have where the disc hit the ground. Through with the disc. And she goes deep, Blady throw, Schaffner, great layout D, gets in front of it. Like I said, she's been doing great on that defensive side.
And Schaffner steps around for the backhand, puts out to space, no receiver there. But a lot of yards. Looks like this may be coming back on a foul call.
Yeah, going to that break side, especially on a backhand, your follow through is almost always going to come into the body of the defender. As a defense, you can't really, your best option is to get out of the way if you're not going to be able to block it, because if the thrower follows through into you, it's almost impossible to contest that foul.
And the observer on the unmarked throw throws it out of bounds, coming back into play.
Well, we're thankful for what the men and women in orange do on the field for us.
Yeah, they've been fantastic this weekend. I was mainly making the point that this is a difficult wind to throw in for everybody. You know, there's been a lot of turnovers this game, but we're talking about 20-mile-per-hour winds out here. It's difficult for any experienced thrower, as we see another turnover here from Schwa.
Yeah, McCain just trying to get those yards. And Schwa looking like they're going to force. It's a flat force. Not wanting those deep throws to go up. McCain trying to get the disc back, poaching off her defender, and Frew taking a deep look. Schaffner is there. Schaffner can't get the D as Mason catches it, and a wide open flip. There's Whitehead again in the end zone for Traffic.
Yeah, Whitehead has been pulling down a lot of these goals here for this Vancouver Traffic team as Traffic gets another break to make it 11-6, and that is not what Schwa needs, as they've been trying to crawl back into this game. A 5-point lead here from Traffic as Kawabata gets off the sideline. There's the McCain bid, and then Frew taking the shot deep. Fantastic catch from Mason. Schaffner trying to put pressure on, but giving up a few inches, and then Whitehead again. Well, we're going to take a quick break here. Come join us for the conclusion of the second half of this Pro Flight play-in game. And welcome back to Vancouver Traffic versus Portland Schwa. Traffic with the lead 11-6 here on the poll.
And Schwa's offense starting in this crosswind, Weatherhead on the sideline. It looks like they're trying to isolate a lot of space for those cutters on the downwind. As Hare has the frisbee, resets to Caustic. Caustic gets the yards up field, but it is dropped. Unfortunate for Mandel. Now now Traffic trying to match the amount of breaks that they had in the first half. A lot of yards on that first throw. We see a backhand force, and that's going to be a wide open huck, but
Ning unable to come up with that. That was a good shot from Chewy, but Ning lays out, and the wind speeds that one up and unable to come up. So this is a good opportunity for Schwa. A nice break for them. They would have been down by 6 had Ning caught that one. But right away, Chewy with another run-through block.
Well, Caustic and Hare, a big miscommunication. Caustic is throwing it, and Hare goes upwind, and that's an easy punch-in. Ning, after missing the layout catch, is able to get the assist, so she still gets on the stat line despite the drop.
So Traffic doubling up Portland Schwa here, 12-6 late in the second half. 3 consecutive points here. Chewy with the run-through block, and then setting up. Here's the first turnover where Ning bids, can't come up with that one. I'm not even sure she needed to bid for that one. It looked like that was pretty close to her.
But the wind has been pushing a lot of these throws on the ground. We can't always tell on camera what's going on in the field. We've seen a lot of plays this weekend that looked like they were going to be easy plays and ended up being a lot more difficult because of the way the wind is playing it.
You know, talking to both of these teams before the game, this is a game both teams really want to come in here and win. For Schwa, 3 weeks ago they had a big goal-setting meeting and decided we want to be quarterfinals. That was their goal. And while they went out in the pre-quarterfinals, they've now battled their way back to become a potential top 8 finisher here and qualify for the pro flight, and this would be meeting their goal. For Traffic, they felt like they benefited greatly from being a pro flight team, from getting opportunities at the US Open and ECC this year, and they want to get back there, and it looks like they'll be back there. Here's another look at that turnover from Ning.
We're going to go all the way to the second goal. Thought we were going to take a look at the turn from Schwa there, but we just see the goal now. Schwa on offense, working it downfield. Roscoe with the disc. Schaffner working her defender in the middle of the field, but that hits the ground, and Schaffner hits the ground as well as she stays down there. We'll see if she's going to take an injury. I assume if play stops, she has to take an injury. It's no contact with another player. She walks off the field, and we will see who comes in to replace her.
Here's a look at it. Schaffner extending fully, and I think she came up holding her left hip flexor, which she pulled at college nationals this year in the semifinals against University of Central Florida. She taped it up and was able to play in the finals against Ohio State, but she was in a lot of pain.
So now the disc gets tapped in. Flander comes in to replace Schaffner. Frew picking up the disc for Traffic. She's been doing so well in that handler position, which has been the big difference in this game, as the handlers have been dominating. Now Whitehead to Frew in the middle of the field. Looking for the around backhand. Gets it, but that floats. McCain is there. Good catch just outside the end zone. Is looking for the reset. Finds it. Traffic in the red zone set. Inside break. And able to find Rina Kawabata for another break in for Traffic's D-line.
So 3 consecutive breaks here from Traffic, as Traffic is showing their depth. They're showing their skill. Kira Frew setting this one up with a nice throw. Here's another look at it. Here's the hanging throw that Cott comes down with. Kira Frew, a former Callahan winner. And Kawabata finishing this one off with the goal. And we're going to flip over to the Patagonia play of the game. I wonder what we're going to get served up here, Topher. I imagine it's going to be some nice throw from Traffic. Let's take a look.
Well, I think
Oh, it looks like Schwa with the Patagonia play of the game. Schaffner out to space for Olivia Bartrup, and Bartrup with the great rip in front of Ellie Hand.
And this is early in the game where Schwa was struggling. They only had 1 point. This doubles their score at 2 points, and Bartrup, great read on that play. This was a great possession for Schwa as they were able to get big yards and move the disc quickly. Schwa is gonna, looks like they're having a tough time maybe coming back in this game, but Olivia Bartrup can be happy that she has earned the Patagonia play of the game today.
The Mowens with the pole here for Traffic, as Traffic looks to close this game out, only 2 points away for their pro flight qualification.
A center stack from Schwa as Weatherhead goes out, floats the disc, and that is knocked away in a pile. No call. Ning picking up the disc. She has Cham in the backfield with her. Cham has been doing real well on that reset. Ning gets the yards. Reset to Cham, now she has the disc. Been a strong thrower here, very confident with the disc.
High stall. Great outlet to Hand. Ning around to Mowens. On the doorstep. Back to Ning. Confident looks here from Traffic as Mowens gets the disc back. Marked by Odie. And Ning, a little shimmy, can't pull that one down from Mowens, and so Schwa's going to get this one back.
Yeah, great patience from Traffic there, not trying to force something into the end zone, but Schwa with the even better red zone defense, putting that disc around and around, and finally the number of passes, eventually one of them has to miss. So Darch trying to get a throw upfield to Munson. Overthrows her. Again, that's throwing it downwind to the sideline. It's difficult to get that read. Traffic, great opportunity for another break to put them within one to finish this game. Ning with it. She's going to take a deep shot immediately. And up in the air, a straddle from Davidson, but she's going to flip it quickly. Looks like she's finding Jakub Jafris in the goal.
Oh, that's Mowens with the goal.
Has she switched jerseys?
Oh, that looks like Mowens to me. Is that Jafris? Maybe you're right. That Jafris with the goal.
I'm trusting my roster sheet. Unfortunately, I don't know the players enough to be able to tell. Yeah, see, we see Mowens in the shot.
Oh, you're right. They're like twins out there.
But again, a great catch from Ashley Davison going over the crowd.
Yeah, fantastic catch going up. That's two big catches we've seen her make on the goal line, and then throwing those lefty forehand. So, 14-6.
Kyle, when this game started, I don't think we really would have predicted this. We thought heavy wind, lots of turns, low scoring, battles from both teams, but Traffic has just shut our little mouths and really run away with this game here in the qualifying match.
Well, and Traffic is known for a lot of their skills. They have a lot of low release points throughout their roster, and you've seen that. They have a really strong depth of handling that allows them to handle this wind very well. And the other thing that I think has impressed me about this Traffic lineup is the number of lefties they have out there. And the fact of the matter is, when you have a windy game like this and you're getting forced one way or the other, it's beneficial to be able to have players who can throw from both sides in your handling course. Some forehand, some lefty forehands, some righty backhands. It just gives you a little more diversity of options and makes it a little more difficult for the defense.
Absolutely. As a defender, it's so much different trying to guard a lefty thrower. Everything's mirrored, and you're just not expecting that step out to the flick side for a left-handed thrower. So Schwa's offense looking to get a few more points in before this game is done. Schaffner on the sideline. She was looking at McCain, who was making an upline cut, but McCain tried to drop back for the reset. Now through with it. Traffic, game-winning possession here. Let's see if they can keep it. A deep shot. Immediately, Whitehead is there. Whitehead can't catch it. I'm surprised there's not a call there as Jenny Tibbles puts the pressure on the catch.
Yeah, Tibbles with just a little bits of pressure there.
It looks like she might have hit the disc before the contact, so good no call there from Traffic. Clean play from both sides. Now Schwa trying to get that play going, but a short field turn. Traffic, their second possession on this game-winning point. Frew with the disc. She is so dangerous here. She's got break throws on either side and setting up for the around backhand. Looks it off. And there it is. Traffic able to take the win and get themselves into the top 8 as Frew is able to find Rena Kawabata in the end zone. Wonderful game here from the Traffic.
Yeah,
Vancouver
Traffic
squad.
really put this one down wire to wire. Consistent play. They opened up the game with a lot of breaks. They closed the game down with 6 consecutive points to finish this one off. 5 breaks, and Frew doing what she does. Kawabata doing what she does, making a quick cut and easily able to find this IO. Look at her just step out for that forehand, and Kawabata pulls it in. 15-6 victory here for Traffic, and Traffic qualifies for the pro flight in the 2015 USA Series next summer. And we have 2 more games. They will not be live, but they will be tape delayed. 2 semifinal games. The first one will be a mixed game between the Seattle mixed team and Wild Card out of Boston. And then we'll be broadcasting, again tape delayed, San Francisco Fury against Seattle Riot in a fantastic, always competitive matchup between those 2 teams. The world final from this past summer, which Riot won. We hope you guys join us for that. Thank you so much for your continued watching of Next Gen Network's coverage of USA Ultimate National Championships, and we'll see you guys later.
Thanks for tuning in.